Hello, how are you? Hope you are in good health. So, we have talked about the basics of fractions and how we can add fractions, how we can subtract fractions, some of the multiplication and division also. So, today we will talk about how we can express the fractions in decimals. So, the topic for today is expressing fractions as decimals. So it will be much easier now because we have also solved some basic questions regarding the exponents and the powers. Uh, so let's start with the first example. The first example is 43 divided by 100. So I'll start with the more basic one first. First of all, let's divide 50 by 10. So as we know that 50 divided by 10 is equal to 5. Now let's make it a little difficult. 50 divided by 100, so 50 divided by 100 is equal to 5 divided by 10, and that is equal to 0 0.5. Like it is the half. So how have we done that? uh, we, you can do the simple division like this: 5 divided by 10. um, if you haven't done division like this with a smaller number in the numerator and the bigger number in the denominator, if you have done it, then it's okay, and if you haven't done it, please leave me an email. I will send you this method in the next class. Hopefully the next class will be a live lecture that like we used to do before. So one simple trick is if if you are dividing anything by 10 like this, 42. So if there is 10, you will place one decimal after the first digit from the right side. So one decimal here. So if we were to divide 42 by 100, what we would have done is uh, there are two zeros. So skip these two numbers and add a decimal, or add a decimal over here. So that would be equal to 0.42. In this case, as there was 10 in 10, so we placed a decimal here. So let's make it a little more difficult now. 50 or 5 divided by 100. So this would now be equal to, as there are two zeros here, so just write 5 as it is and skip two places the decimals here and place the decimal here. So there is a one blank space left now, so we will place a 0 here. So 5 divided by 100 would be equal to 0.05. Now I have told you about the basics here. So let's solve some examples that will clear the scope or clear your concept further. So 43 divided by 100 would be equal to, first of all, we will count the zero. So there are two zeros. So if 43 was divided by 10, the answer would have been 4.3, because there is a single zero in 10. So the decimal would have been shifted only one space. But now as there are two zeros, so the decimal would be shifted to two places from the right to left. So the answer of 43 divided by 100 would be equal to 0.43. Because 100 is a larger number, 43 is a smaller number. So whenever we divide, if the, like if we're dividing 5 divided by 2, so The 5 is a bigger number, so the answer would be greater than 1. It would not be in the like 0.43 is less than 1, so it would not be less than 1. So as 43 is a smaller number than 100, so the answer is surely less than 1. So let's solve some more examples. So 57 divided by 1000. So in this case, there are 3 zeros in the 1000, and I'm just going to write 57 as it is here. By default, as I have already told you, that by default the decimal is in this position. When there's no decimal, we can write 57 as 57.0 also, because it doesn't matter if we are adding a decimal and a 0 after. 57.0 is equal to 57, so there is no difference. So just for our ease, we can write it like this. So by default, the decimal would be after the 757. So if we are dividing it by 1000, 1000 has 3 zeros, so this decimal would be shifted 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, and 3. So the decimal will be placed here. So there is a space here left, a void here, so that void will be filled by 0. So the answer would be 0.057. Let's solve some more examples to clarify this concept. Another example is 8 divided by 100, 100. So this would of course be a very small number, as there are 4 decimals in 10,000. So the decimal would be at this point. Now we want to divide it by 10,000. So this decimal would shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 spaces to the left side. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this decimal would be placed here, and there are 3 blank spaces left now. So we are going to write zeros here. So the answer would be equal to 0.008. So the answer for this would be equal to 0.008. Or to simplify, so there are four zeros here. So you have to complete the same number of digits after the decimal. So if you count after the decimal digits 1, 2, 3, 4, so they become 4 after they are being divided to 10,000. So greater the denominator is, smaller is the number in the numerator. So I'm going to solve a couple of more examples. For example, there is an improper fraction 2, 3 divided by 10. So to convert it into a proper fraction, we will multiply 2 by 10. So that would be equal to 20 and plus 3 in it. So that would make 23. So the 23 over 10. So as I have told you, there is a single 0 and 10. So this decimal would be shifted 1 place only to the left. So the answer would be 2.3. Let's write another example. Do another example. This is a little tough. 7 divided by 5 over 10,000. So convert it into a proper fraction. 7 will be divided to 10,000, so that will be equal to 70,000 plus 5. So the denominator would be 70,005 divided by 1, 2, 3, 10,000. So count the zeros. There are 4 zeros. Shift this decimal place 4 places towards the left side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer would be 7.0005. This would be the answer for this question. So this is how we can express the fractions as decimals, or the other way would have been like this. So if there's any question, uh, if the denominator is not a multiple of 10, so what we can do, for example, this is a fraction 3/7. So to convert it into decimals, we would do this trick, like divide 3 by 7. Now you have to tell me if you have done these kind of divisions in which the numerator is smaller and the denominator is larger. If not, then I will send you a recorded lecture for these type of questions also. So let's see you in the next part.